How many times do I think 35 or approximately you can say 40 can go into 180, I guess? So I'm going to use 35 times, I could say approximately 5. 5 times 5 is 25, 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17. So that's a little high, so I'm going to try 4. 35 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20, 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. So that one works better. I'm going to use 140 and subtract. So 5 minus 0 is 5, 6 minus 4 is equal to 2. So 25 is still less than 35, so that is a good remainder to have. As long as it's less than denominator, then you are multiplying, dividing correctly. So my final answer is 4 and 25 thirtieths. So 4 and 25 thirtieths. And if you notice, those numbers are pretty big. I can actually simplify that. So I'm going to simplify that by dividing by 5 over 5. So 25 divided by 5 is equal to 5, and 30 divided by 5 is going to give me 6. So my final answer is 4 and 6 meters squared. Okay, now I'm going to move on to problem 2. Chris is making a tabletop from some leftover tiles. He has 9 tiles that measure 3 1/8 inches long and 2 3/4 inches wide. What is the greatest area he can cover with these tiles? So, looking at the problem for number 2, I need to figure out what are the measurements that I need to solve. I'm going to draw a diagram so you guys can see that a little better. We know that he has 9 tiles, and we know that they measure 3 1/8 and 2 3/4. So I'm going to write that down, 3 1/8 and 2 3/4. We're trying to figure out what is the area that he can cover the greatest. So first, I'm going to multiply these two numbers together. Remember, area is equal to base times height, or width times length. Okay, so I'm going to multiply my numbers. I have 2 3/4 times 3 1/8. 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 plus 3 is going to give me 11. My denominator is 4. I multiply. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 1 is going to give me 25 eighths. So now I am going to multiply 11 times 25. 5 times 1 is equal to 5. 5 times 1 is equal to 5. Bring down my 0. 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 times 1 again is 2. 5 plus 0 is 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. Bring down my 2. I get 275. 275. And 4 times 8 is going to give me 32. So now I am going to divide. 275 divided by 32. I need to kind of think how many times can 32 or 30 can go into 275 approximately. So I'm going to try 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. I get 160. That's very low. So I'm going to try 9. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 3 is 27, plus 1 is 28. That's just above. Let's try 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 is 25. So this one is going to be your best bet, 256. So 32 times 8 is 256. I'm going to subtract. 15 minus 6 gives me 9. 7 changes to a 6. 6 minus 5 is equal to 1. My remainder is 19. My denominator is 32. So my final answer for this is 8 1932 inches squared. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the next problem. Well, not next, but what I'm supposed to do next. So I'm going to take this measurement actually, and I'm going to multiply it times 9 tiles because he has 9 tiles that he measures. So I need to multiply 8 times, oh sorry, I said 9 and then I'm writing 8 because I'm looking at this number. So 9 times 8 and 1932 inches squared. So 9 over 1 times, and we already have this number earlier written in mixed numbers, so I can just write it down again, 275 over 32. Okay, so now I'm going to multiply. 275 times 9. 9 times 5 is equal to 45. 9 times 7 is 63. 63 plus 4 is 67. 9 times 2 is 18. 18 plus 6 is 24. I have to think about that for a second. We have 2,475. Now I need to divide that by 32. I should write that down here for you guys so you guys can see it. 2,475 divided by 32. And now this is our next step. We're figuring out how many times does 32 go into 24. It doesn't. So I'm going to go to 247. How many times can 32 go into 247? I'm going to think about 247. It's going to be around 7. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times 3 is 21. Plus 1 is 22. So we have 224. Yeah, that's going to be your lowest. So 7 minus 4 is 3. 4 minus 2 is 2. Bring down my 5. I get 235. So I can use 7 once again. So we have 224. Subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. 3 minus 2 is 1. So my remainder is 11 and my denominator is 32. So I'm going to write that down. 77 and 1132 inches squared. Okay, so that's how much he can cover. Now I am going to turn the page.